Yeah, great spot right here, guys. Hell yeah. Put in an Urtefanker real quick. I mean, the ground's kind of hard, but, I mean, whatever, man. You can drive it in, it ain't gonna be too hard. Put her on in here. A few swats of the hammer. Should be right going in.
20 minutes later.
Screw this, I'm getting a drag. So, just for y'all wondering why I got so irate and threw my driver, is, I was pounding for about 4 minutes, and you figure I get a lot in here. I got a whole, actually, I got about an inch in here. And this and as you see, it pops right out. Not saying Urtefanker's bad, but this ground is freaking hard. Check this crap out. Scrape away a little bit. It's like pure freaking concrete. So, unless I'm going to be out here all day, putting in one set just pounding freaking Urtefanker, I say we should make some drags for this. Okay, guys, so first thing you want to do is we're going to go ahead and measure and cut all our steel. That's the first thing I like to do. I hate to, you know, cut, remeasure, it's just a pain. So go ahead and cut all your stuff at once. So you can do this in any order you want to, but what I'm going to do first is off one of our old drags. Tell you what, I'm not going to do this one. It's kind of one of my generic drags we're going to use. First thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and measure the shank. So my shanks are exactly 1 foot. So a 12-inch long shank. You can make them a little longer if you want. That's no problem. We're going to have a 12-inch shank and going to have an 8.5-inch spreader. Okay, so now when we're doing this for the shank, you want to make sure one side can be a little lopsided. It can be a little. You have one, one side looks like that. One side you want to be as even on the top as possible because you want to butt this up against the spreader. And you want it as parallel as possible. So you want that spreader to be able to lay down and be as straight as possible. You don't want it canted over to one side or another. So go ahead and try and butt those together. Okay. Go on and put them in the vise real quick. Now, you can try and cut these at the same time if you want. That's no problem with me. We're actually going to try right now. So, come over here to the 1 foot mark. I'm finna cut mine that's a little longer. A little longer than a foot. And when I say a little longer, I mean like barely 1/8 of an inch. Alright. Guys, this smell is pretty clean, so I might not even really even shine it up any. So we're going to take our angle grinder here. Oh, bit of basic shop safety. When you cut this, you don't want anybody where sparks can hit them. That's just basic shop safety. So, Oh, wear eye protection too if you have it. I don't. I'm kind of an idiot. So I'm not gonna wear eye protection. So let's see how long it's gonna be till I get to the hospital. Haha. Now we got our shank pre-cut. Now if you want it to right now, go ahead and flick on your welder and you can just go ahead and do your bead right here. That'll keep these two in place. And tell you what, actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So as you see, these two are both perfectly cut them at the same time. Put on the welder. And shit. Make sure with your welder, especially if you're using a MIG or a flux core, wire fed in general, don't wrap your line because you could kink that cord in there. Zoom in so I can see exactly what I'm doing here. See? My tripod won't work too well. There we go. So, first weld is going to be right in the middle. We're just going to do like a little inch long weld and really burn it in. So. Okay. Now hopefully y'all ain't blind, but just did a nice little weld right here. Then go to the bottom and do one about an inch above these two. About an inch above right there. So move that up. Oh shit. There's a spider in my helmet. Freaking out there for a second, yeah. On my head. Oh, okay, cool. There you go, not too pretty. Let me burn her in, and my hair burn her in. Alrighty. You can flip it around, do it on the other side, but I don't feel that's super necessary. Oh, I forgot to wear my gloves. Oh, I'll use my gloves for taking it off. Yeah, they kind of shrunk that. No, actually, I'm just hit with the vice grips. Got that in there pretty good, huh? See here, got knock her loose. There we go. Okay. So, here's our shank. Right there. Now, as a little forward, you want to have your shank longer than your spreader bar. Now, you're probably wondering why. If your spreader bar is longer than your shank, when it's going down the trail and it's hooking on everything, you're naturally going to have this motion. But if this is longer than the shank, you're going to have a lot wider motion. So you're not going to be able to hook into the ground or plow in as good as you like. It'll do something like this and it'll just wash out and wash out. Now, if your shank is longer than your bar, I don't know the actual technical term for it, but it's going to be a lot more centered. So when it goes, you're still going to get a little washing, which is good, but it's going to be more controlled. So you're going to get more digging than just straight washing out. So hope that made sense. Okay, so now we're finna cut our actual spreader bar. And both of these ends are kind of messed up, so I might have to cut both of them. So. Now on these, you want both of these butted as closely together as possible. So put them in here. Try and get those ends together good. And on this one, you want 8.5 inches. So 8.5. Don't forget to lose your Sharpie every 5 seconds like I do. Gotta lose your Sharpie every 5 seconds. So 8.5. And actually we're gonna come down just a little bit. And this is actually the same process as cutting the first one, so I'm not really going to bore y'all with this, so I'm just going to cut it off for a while. Okay, y'all, so now I got the spreader here chucked up in the vise. All these points are nice and ground flush. So now all I'm going to do is weld my actual prongs on here. Now, you're going to have to figure out what angle works for you. You're going to have to play around with it a lot. Me, a shallower angle seems to work a little better. But, again, it's just something you're going to have to try. Now, one thing I like to say is don't do like something like that. That's not really going to work too well. Now, kind of a deeper angle, kind of like that, will work a little better. Something like this is generally pretty good. Another thing. If you can get these to kind of come in a little bit, that'll really help with the actual plowing in. So instead of your points being out like that, where your points kind of tucked in a little bit. So I'll go ahead and weld this one on real quick. On my glove. There we go. Remember, tack weld first and check. You got the tack weld on. That's where we tack weld first. I actually want this to be a little deeper. So I'm going to pull that down a little more. Yep, that's about what I'm looking for. So now I can actually do my full weld. Okay guys, so as you see, we got it welded together. We got the good angle we want. Again, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself, what works for you, where you're at. But we got it welded up on this side. Now just got to go to the other side and weld that up. Pretty simple. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll go to welding on the shank. Okay guys, so now what we got now, we got our prongs welded on. All I did was flip this in the vise. So now it's perfectly straight as I can get it. We're going to lay our spreader down, or shank I mean. Since this bar was cut at 8.5 inches, got it set. This is going to go right at about 4.5 on this bar. So get as straight as we can. Do our tack welds, check it. I mean, you can just eyeball this too if you want to. It really don't matter. And I don't look like this. That's why I wasn't completely even on the other side. So. Okay. Looks good to me. Go ahead and do our full weld. And this part right here is the part you really weld on. This T, these prongs can break, and you'll still have a good chance finding with this T. But if this breaks right here, and it's just this trailing behind them, you're probably not going to find them. So, go ahead and weld this. Alright, got her burned in. Last thing we need to do is just put a top knot on it. Now, I'm going to show y'all how to do it with a piece of chain link. So, go over to the anvil and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, y'all, we're here at the anvil. Pretty simple what we're going to do. I got about some number 3, number 5 American welded chain. All I'm finna do is cut a link off. So, take your bolt cutter. Cut ourselves a link. Okay? Take your pair of vice grips. Lock on to that. You're going to put it on the anvil just like this. Take yourself a hammer. Just peen it a few times till it starts spreading out like that. That looks pretty good for me. So this is gonna sit on top of the drag and we'll be done. Okay, so top of our drag right here, got the little eyelet we just made. Gonna sit right like that. Pretty simple. So just turn this so y'all can get a better. See what I mean? It's gonna sit right here. I mean, you don't have to do this method if you don't want to. You can use a swivel or whatever floats your boat, but that's what I'm using. So I'm just gonna put the whale down here. That's just me. Ain't got to, but that's what I'm doing. Oops. There you go. Okay, boys and girls. So, this is what we came up with. Pretty good drag, if you ask me. It's not a Sabertooth. It's not one of those old Wimberley drags, but if you ask me, this is going to do the job for you pretty good. Sharpen these points up. Make sure you got your angles right. Now, if you didn't get your angles right on this, if like one of your prongs is kind of washed out to the side, all you gotta do, like with this, I was in a hurry to do this. All I did was took a hammer, set it on my anvil like that, and I just peened them down. This one wasn't really the way I wanted it, so all I did was just stuck this prong on my anvil and just pulled up on it. Very simple. But this is fine drag. It weighs about 3 pounds. I won't say 3 pounds. Let's say about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 tops, but not super heavy. It's a good drag for you. Coons ain't getting away from this. Fox ain't getting away from this. And a coyote ain't going to carry this too far. A bobcat, he's probably just going to get tired of it after about 2 minutes. So, pretty good drag. It's another one for the pile. So, hope you guys loved this video. If you didn't, comments. I mean, if you want to be a dick, comments. I'm military. I really don't care. So, I mean, you know who you're talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You can just get in the comments and do your little thing. I don't care. But, hope you guys loved this video. For all my subscribers, man, I love y'all. For all my guys on Trapper, man, love y'all too. So, like, comment, subscribe. There will be more to come, my friends. Laters.